What it do, what it do, what it do. Welcome back. It's been a while since I've been live on this channel, y'all. Welcome back. This is kind of Snake Cinema Podcast, but really it is a Snake Prince Vlogs, a little bit of both. But anyway, this is the last live of 2024. So super excited. Love that y'all are in here watching. And shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to the replay gang, people who will watch this later on. And shout out to my bro, my homies, Lindworm Exotics, Big Double L, and Randall. I've got this hat a while back with the Wiz Tang Chat Lay crew on there. That's what I asked to get personalized for my hat. But over the Christmas holiday, he sent me their new shirt, and he definitely not slacking on the back. But if you want to see what that look like, check out my Instagram. I did a post today, but shout out to them. It was so cool to come home from vacation and see that. Speaking of which, me and my family had a great vacation this weekend. My parents renewed their vows. Wedding anniversary. It was beautiful. All my siblings from around the world came, flew in, drove in, whatever, and brought all the kids. So I got to see my nieces and nephews. It was a great time. It was a great vibe. It was amazing. We were on the beach, the Gulf, Orange Beach, Alabama. And the weather it was rainy and gloomy the first day, but it really wasn't bad. Like we really had a great time. And I got some dope pictures. But anyways, it was just real cool. And anywho, y'all came here because y'all wanted to know my top reptile podcast. Now, for those who are living under a rock and was wondering, yo, how come Elias ain't went live on this channel in so long? It's because I have moved to the Whiskey Bomb Network. Snake Cinema Podcast is still going strong. As a matter of fact, this coming Saturday will be our 60th episode. So I never stop podcasting. We just moved home. So Snake Cinema Podcast is now home on Keys Constrictors channel. The Whiskey Bomb Network. That's where all their shows are. And so that's where you can find Snake Cinema Podcast. Of course, I always save every episode in my channels, Snake Cinema Podcast and Snake Music Podcast playlists. So if you ever look on my page, on the main page, I have my playlist and it's there. So every time we add a new show, I add it to those playlists. So for people who aren't subscribed to Keys Constrictors channel, but you should be. You should be subscribed to his channel. Links in the description. Please be subscribed because he has more shows than just mine. They have Breeding for the Future. They have Balls and Things. They have the Genetic Canvas. That's a new podcast on there. Shout out to them. The Genetic Canvas, Jared and Leland. That show is starting off with a bang. I think we're like 4 or 5 episodes in. I could be wrong with my math, but every episode has been fire so far. So, and we got more shows to come. Our very own Father Don, you already know, he has his show coming this month, premiering soon, very soon. And also FNA Balls is also they have their Snakeshuary podcast is premiering also this month. Actually, tomorrow is New Year's Eve. They're doing a live New Year's Eve extravaganza auction where they're auctioning off snakes. And then at the end of the auction, the very end of the auction, they're giving some dope snakes away. They're going to do a giveaway. So it's going to be a fun, good time tomorrow night. So shout out to everybody on the Whiskey Bomb Network. Just want to put that disclaimer out there. So for those who've been living under a rock and did not know where my Snake Cinema Podcast lives disappear to, that's where they are. And then yeah, but just like last year I did my best or my favorite of 2023 Reptile Podcast. And so even though I'm now a part of a podcasting network, I did not want to not do another list, but we decided to make it fair and to not have people be like, oh, you're biased and yada, yada, yada. And hate. They probably still going to hate regardless, but just to keep the peace, because we're all about peace, love, and positivity, especially in 2025. Um, I decided to do this here on my channel. That way, they can't say that the whiskey bomb had bias or something. Just I don't want no drama, no bull with my boys. Those are my big brothers. I love Wiz, I love Keys, I love Bomb, and I don't want to do anything to cause drama in their life. So we're gonna keep it here. And if people have issues, just your issues are with me, not with them. And also, disclaimer, these lists is my opinion. It's just an opinion. It's not a fact. It's not the end all be all. It's not 100%. This not like the New York Times or Billboard Top 100. Ain't none of that. It's just some dude from Memphis sharing his favorite shows that kept him entertained all year long and kept him from being bored with life. You know what I'm saying? So everything is subjective. You might not like the people I chose or the podcast I chose. You might be angry with the placement. You might like them, but be angry with the placement on the list that I chose. Um, and then some people might be upset because there might be a polarizing or two, one or two or three, polarizing personalities on the list. And you might not like them. You might not be a fan of them, which is valid. It's very valid because they make it hard to love them. Um, some of them, they make it very, very hard to love them. Um, but it is what it is. Everybody ain't for everybody. But like I said, this is just my list of what kept me entertained this year. And so I hope y'all enjoy it. And I hope, nobody's feelings get hurt. But before we start, let's see what's in the Chitty chat. Sammy was first. What it do? Happy New Year's. What it do, Sammy? Love you, brother. Nikki, irresistible sis. What it do? Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate it. What up, what up, what up? Bonus episode. Yeah, John. Mission Morse. Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you. Yep, bonus episode. Ah, Brian, more valid. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for tapping in this Monday morning. No, sorry, not morning, evening, evening. I'm so used to podcasting in the morning that I didn't confuse myself this Monday evening. So let's go ahead and get started with my list. And again, shout out to the replay gang, anybody who come in afterwards. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I know. I done messed up. I said morning. Uh all right, so let me get this situated with these slides. Bam. All right. So this was tough. This was tough because everybody knows there's like 50 million reptile podcasts out there, especially on YouTube. And there is several different networks. And so I tried my best to I tried my best to not miss anybody because I listen to almost everybody. Almost everybody. There's one network I never support, and y'all already know, so I ain't got to say their names. We keeping it positive in 2025. But you know, everybody else I have no issues with. Um, Everybody else I try to support as best I can with the limitations that I have called time and a life because I'm a full-time student and a full-time teacher. So sometimes I'm not in every live, but I do hit the replays. And so, and I did extend it. All my other top, like on the Whiskey Bomb Network, all my other top of best of 2024 lists have been top 10. I actually extended this to top 15. So, um, because again, there's just so many shows, so many networks, so many everything, which I'm not complaining. I love the content. I'm enjoying it. But not everybody can be number one. You know what I'm saying? Patrick, what it do, brother? One of the biggest supporters. I think he watched more podcasts than I do. Him and Bosa, they neck and neck for supporters. And I really do appreciate you, Pat. Merch is coming to you soon. I got to send you a text. I did finally get your number. Jamil, what it do? What it do? Yeah, dancing Jamil. How's life as being the father of a sweet, beautiful baby girl? Congrats again, brother. Congrats again. What's up, everybody? All right, so let's go ahead and do our honorable mentions. Um, and I will talk a little bit and explain why they made the honorable mentions. Let's see. So, our honorable mentions, we're going to start at the top, is no remorse remorse for from More Forge family, the Triple J's. I enjoy their show. It is so good. I love that they do interviews of people, but in their own unique way. They have the hot seat question segment, which I really love. With Jamie, is so hilarious and funny. But the hot seat questions are very segment is always good. Um, and they always, everybody has a unique perspective and and they come up with some great questions for their guests. And then if you're paying attention while you're watching live, they always end the show with a question or a quiz for the audience to answer. And the first person in the chats who get the correct answer, type in the correct answer, will get some more forge coins, some special coins. I think it's like $10 worth a coin. But if you collect, because some people constantly winning every week, if you collect enough, you can use those not only to redeem with them, like merch or animals, future animals that they're breeding, but also their sponsors are now collecting those coins, taking those coins as credit. So a great way to save on animals or a great way to snag some dope merchandise. I just think it's very creative how they do it, and I really love it. I don't always catch them live because it happens later in the night and I about in bed because I teach, but you know, but I do always hit the replay the next day or 2 days after and watch it, and I enjoy their show and everything they do. Cool. Thank you for tapping in, sis. Happy New Year's. Um, and then up top, of course, my brothers, the Whiskey Bomb Network. We have Keys Wiz and KG from Bomb Projects. They have a new show, and the reason why it's honorable mention because it is fairly new. Um, I think they're like a couple of months in, but they have a new show that they have every Sunday, Breeding for the Future, where they interview newer breeders, and it is so good. They've dropped some great gems. They show off some animals. They don't just interview the people, but the people show off animals. They've done a lot of egg cuttings in their shows as well. A lot of breeders will come on the show, and before they interview, they'll cut a clutch of eggs, which I really love. I love seeing those egg cuttings. So super dope, super cool, great way if you're new and you're coming up in the game for you to get on and show your collection, show your animals, and show who you are. And of course, my bros, the Whiskey Bomb brothers, they're great at interviewing, so dope at interviewing. It's pretty good. But like I said, fairly new show. That's why they're honorable mentions because it ain't been out long. It didn't they didn't entertain me the full 2024 because they ain't been out long. Speaking of haven't been out long, Mike from Herb Collector, he started his own network and he has some new shows that he has brought out forefront, which I really love. But one of my favorites, because y'all know I have a Super Dwarf retic, and that is the retic rundown that happens every other Tuesday. Yeah, it happens every other Tuesday. And like other shows, I can't watch it live because that's the same as a show that I'm on, but I always hit the replay the next day. I either listen to it throughout work, like on my breaks and stuff like that, or or my planning period. I'll listen to it in my ear while I'm doing my planning period. Or when I'm at home cleaning snakes or just relaxing, playing with my animals, I love listening to the retic rundown and hearing Joe and Chris and all their guests talk about these animals, whether it's the mainlands or the dwarfs and super dwarfs. I just love hearing different perspectives of this species because, sorry, y'all, I had to cough. I love hearing different perspectives of these species. because I'm tired of, just like I'm tired of hearing people say ball pythons are pet rocks and they're boring and they don't do anything, which is not true. If you actually handle and care for your animals, besides breeding and cleaning, you actually hang out with them, you'll know they're not. But there are some misconceptions about retics. Like there are even breeders out there who are still, now yes, it's true, retics are not for everybody, but there are still breeders and keepers and people out there who are still fear mongering, even with Superdor, still fear mongering these snakes. And it's just good to have more positive podcasts out there of experts who actually keep these animals or breed these animals, showing, hey, it ain't what everybody keeps saying it is. Stop with the fear mongering, stop with the BS, the regurgitation of myths and stuff like that, and actually just be honest and truthful. Again, retics aren't for everybody because humans are idiots. It's not because of the retics, it's because of humans. But they're not as bad as people say they are, if you actually keep them. You know what I'm saying? um, and so yeah, I always love them. So shout out to Mike, Herb Collectors Network, and everybody who is a part of that network. Another podcast that I haven't seen much people talk about or hype up is the Expert and the Idiot Reptile Podcast. I don't know the host very well, but I have seen a couple of his clips on Facebook. That's how I was introduced. And then I saw that he had interviewed Dre, the snake god, one of my homies, one of my brothers in the reptile industry. And so I went and watched the episode. And after watching the episode, I was like, okay, I like this guy. Then I saw that he interviewed Abby, the curly hair keeper, and he interviewed a lot of other notable names in the industry, and getting their opinions and talking to them. And it's really good show. It's a really good concept. And I love the title, The Expert and the Idiot Reptile Podcast, because I like that dynamic. I really do. I like shows where you have someone who is either new or completely oblivious to this stuff and talking to people who actually know what they're talking about. I love that dynamic. I don't want just two experts chatting with each other like they like Tesla and whoever and Einstein. Like, yeah, I know. It gets boring after a while. I like when you have two people on the opposite spectrums talking and having a conversation with each other. That's what's cool for me. And so shout out to them. Shout out to the Expert and the Idiot Reptile Podcast. I really enjoy that show now. So yeah, if you haven't seen or watched their podcast, check them out. And then we have, of course, Mike again, Herb Collectors Network. He has a show with Matt from Ebony and Ivory called Double Clutch. That show has been so good since they launched that. I think they did it back. They had their first episode back in either October, November. I could be wrong. My timeline is off. But it has been out for a minute. They have a Patreon where they help other people out and they build a community, and it's just great. But so far I'm loving every episode and topics that they've done, from reptile socialization to uh the good, bad, and ugly in the hobby. And um let's see, they talked about a lot of different things. Animal, I did say animal socialization, the business side of breeding, and I just really really enjoy it. And so shout out to Mike and Matt, and y'all have a great show with the Herb Collectors. Double Clutch, super good, and I can't wait to see what more episodes y'all bring in 2025. And then lastly, honorable mention, we have Nikki from Irresistibles and Lace from Lace Balls. They have a new show, brand new show. I think they're like 4 or 5 episodes in, called Show Me Your Rack, where they interview different breeders, and the breeders literally show them what snakes are in their rack. And besides Nikki and Lace being such a dope dynamic interview wise and being so entertaining, but the fact that this podcast show don't just interview and talk to the breeders and just talk, because a lot of these interview shows do that, but they focus kind of like breeding for the future. They actually showcase and spend a lot of time, most of the show, showing the animals, showing, the snakes that people are working with. And those are the shows that I really love and gravitate for. If we're doing a 2 hour podcast and it's just straight talking, unless you have a very great, amazing personality, I get bored quickly. And if we're talking about reptiles, or we're talking about, hey, I'm breeding, or I'm working ultra male, or I'm working lace, or I'm working um DG pies. Oh, I can't believe I just said that. I want to at least see the examples of your work, and I want to see the animals that you have in your racks. So, and when we get closer to the top, like the top 5 shows and stuff like that, you'll see that most of them, if not all of them, have big chunks of their shows or segments or pieces of their shows where they actually show animals, and they're not just spending 2 hours talking. They're actually showing animals. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Sorry that they did not make the top 15. But that does not, numbers don't mean anything, rankings don't mean anything. Y'all kept me entertained and enjoyed all 2024, and I recommend y'all to everybody. I'm telling everybody, go listen to these podcasts because they are so good and so entertaining. But let's go down and start doing the top 15, starting with number 15. Not Another Reptile Podcast. First of all, the name is great. It's very funny. Because boy, oh boy, it seems like every week there's another reptile podcast. But again, I'm not whining and complaining like some grown men are. Every time a new podcast pop up that's reptile related, I get happy and excited. I'm like, yes, let's go. But it's hosted by Holly and Tyler from Tyler's Toxic Balls, and I think they got new co-hosts. I think Travis and Jamie from Graceful Pythons are now their co-hosts as well. I'm not 100% sure, but this year they've had some very great episodes for some very great guests, and I really do enjoy it. Tyler is amazing and entertaining, and he has dope projects and dope collections, and so does Holly. And Holly's great with interviewing questions. She is, and she's great with like the intros, the graphics, the promos. Like, they are a great dynamic team when it comes to, duos working together and podcasting. And when, they're interviewing, it's like Holly busts a question, Tyler busts a question, and the conversations flow so effortlessly. It's not like, okay, is it your turn? It's not awkward, it just flows like a real honest conversation. And like I said, they've had some great guests on this year, and it's been quite an entertaining show, and I really do enjoy it. So shout out to them. Not Another Reptile Podcast. Number 14. Number 14, Girls Who Love Reptile Podcast, hosted by Krista of Neurophi Exotics. And it's on the Trap Talk Network. And Krista is such a dope female breeder in her own right. She's been breeding geckos for a while, for a minute, probably more than 3 or 4 years, if I'm correct. I'm probably, she'll correct me later if she watches this, but she's been breeding geckos. That's what she started off with, and now she's been doing the ball pythons as well, and she's been collecting heat and acquiring heat and breeding heat. And she's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the future, if not now, if people aren't paying attention and watching. But she joined the Trap Talk Network, and on Sundays it's a female centric show. That's hence the title, Girls Who Love Reptiles. But I love this podcast because she interviews not just snake people, not just ball python people, but a spectrum of people. I think she interviewed like a scientist at one point, or a vet at one point. And then she's also done breeders that I know and love, like Nicole, Lady Tiz Exotics, Abby, the curly hair keeper. And then she's interviewed people I've never even heard of before. Different type of gecko people, breeders, um, spider breeders, different types of of snake species outside of ball pythons and retics, just all different spectrums, and it's great because it shows that yes, reptile hobby is a male dominated sport. Yes, but honestly, every industry is a male dominated sport. Honestly, except education, still not dominated by men, mostly dominated by women. But, uh, but this show is great because it introduced people like me to a lot more women that I did not know were around ever or never heard of. And it really shows that women really do be the backbone of this industry. Even if they're not face to face, the forefront of the company, the reptile company, they might be play the back behind the scenes while their husbands are up front, promoting the reptiles, but still they are the backbones of this industry and they are a force to be reckoned with. And if you are counting someone out when you go to these reptile expos, buying snakes or lizards, and you count somebody out just because they're a woman, use a fool. One thing I've learned, if I'm at a reptile expo and I see a woman in charge of the booth, and she's actually, her name and face is the reptile business, I'm gonna go to her first, honestly. I'm gonna trust her first in the business before I do a man. No, 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 no shade, but it's I've just seen way better professionalism, better, more educational people who actually know what they're talking about. Um, all that when it comes from female breeders, women breeders, across the board. Like there's a hog nose breeder. I cannot remember her name, but I see her at all the shows, all the NARB shows. I even seen her at a Show Me Snakes show before, and she specifically worked hog noses. If I buy a hog nose, if I ever get a hog nose in the future, 9 times out of 10, it'll be from her before any of these male hog nose breeder, because I just be watching. I just sometimes I sit at these shows and I sit at the table and act like I'm looking at an animal and I'm just ear hustling, listening to how they talk with other people and the information and the knowledge that she gives people about the hog nose snakes. It's just, and she don't be BS and don't be trying to be a salesman, a car salesman. No, she keep it straight with you, how they are, they temperaments, all that stuff. She'll pull them out and let you hold them, and it's just, I'm going on a tangent, but still, like I said, women in this reptile industry are the backbones of this industry, and they really need to be more and more in the forefront. So shout out to Krista and the whole Trap Talk Network. Shout out to any podcast, anybody who put women at the forefront or have something that's centered where we interview and talk with more women, because I feel like they the blueprint. They really are. They are the blueprint. So shout out to Girls Who Love Reptile Podcast. Y'all, if you haven't been listening, you should listen. Very good. Very good. What up, Brittany? Thanks for tapping in. I see you in the comments. Thank you. All right, number 13. Number 13, we have the Let Me Know show hosted by Ken of LMK Reptiles and Stan the Man from Sea of Serpents. I call them my Caucasian cousins. Those guys are so dope. Shout out to the whole RWO family. Always been cool, always been supportive since day one. Always just been real good, dope, positive people in the industry. And I love the Let Me Know show. One thing about Ken that I have to give to him is that he lets you know he's no expert. He lets you know that he don't know everything. But that's why he interviews people and talk to people, kind of like the Expert and the Idiot podcast, kind of that same concept. He interviews people who do know what they're talking about, and his questions be great. And it's just, and Stan is always great for the conversations. Stan also has been a great addition as co-host, keeping the conversations going, keeping the flow. And shout out to the whole, like I said, shout out to the whole RWO family. The RWO show is also great, but I only put, if I had to pick which one I listened to and enjoyed the most, I do enjoy the more straightforward interview show the Let Me Know show. And it's very good. Their guests have been from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different brackets as far as success and money and clutches go. They've had some heavy hitters dip in and talk, and they interview some people. They've interviewed Billy from Mutations Creations. Like come on now. I think they even had I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they also had I don't forgot already. Kyle Hoffman on their show before, but then they also have people like me, people who are nobodies in the industry, who are just on the come up, who are new, and they bring people on and interview them, and I've really been enjoying their show. So shout out to Ken and Stan and the rest and Pressure P and everybody else in the RWO family. Kent, everybody, y'all keep doing what you're doing, and I look forward to what you bring in 2025. Keep bringing those shows, don't give up. And bring on those guests always. Brian, what up, brother? Thanks for tapping in, I appreciate you. What up? All right, so let's move on to number 12. Number 12, we got Nikki and Kurt, Irresistibles, and their friend Angel for In Your Circle podcast. This is another one of those more recent, newer podcasts. I think they have to be on for like more, like half the year. I think they premiered their first episode like in the summertime, I think, if I'm correct. But they are so good. They are so good with their interviews. They keep me entertained. I'll be cleaning the snake room and listening. I don't always be engaged in the chats all the time, but I'm definitely always trying to listen live when I can. And when the times I can't, I always hit their replay. But this year, ever since they premiered, they've kept me very entertained. And even on on the episodes where they don't have any guests and it's just them talking about their plans, about the reptile shows that they vended and stuff like that. Rock, I sent the link. It's in the group chat, sir, brother. Go look. But what up, Rock? Mr. KG Jr. But yeah, in number 12 in your circle podcast, I really do enjoy it. Nikki is, when I talk about support, she be supporting, man. She be supporting people that you probably don't even never heard of, but always showing love, always showing a positive light. And Kurt does too. He just more quiet and more in the background, but they are always supporting the families. And I love them. I love them to death. And their show just keeps me entertained. And I'm loving Angel. I'm getting to know Angel on the show, on the podcast. And he seems like a very dope dude. And I hope I get to meet all of them in person one day at one of these reptile shows. I want to go to one of their shows, the PW whatever, the Paul Pack. I always say it wrong. Sorry y'all, but just great people, amazing people. Y'all got to watch that show for sure. Rock, I resent the link. Hopefully it works this time. Let's see. So let's move on to number 11. Number 11. Now, this is what I mean, disclaimer, as someone who's polarizing. Not a lot of people are a fan of MJ. I get it. I understand. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that he's not entertaining. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, he doesn't, I don't enjoy his shows. I'm not finna BS. I've supported him over the years. I've sent super chats. I've been engaged in the live chats. I really do like his shows. But like I said, he can make it hard to love him. and that's just life. That's just life. That's just humans, It's just what it is, what it is. What a rock. But like I said, I've really enjoyed his shows, and one of his biggest, besides the Chondro show, that did not make this list, but I do enjoy listening to that. I do love New Breeder on the Block, hosted by him and Coach E, Emilio from V Unit. And they've had some great guests featuring in the picture, Tommy, Inky Clouds. They've had some amazing guests. They've had some heavy hitters. They had some veterans on their show. They have a lot of dope. I like that they shine a light on the new breeders, the breeders who you might not know their name much, but they're breeding and producing great animals, great projects, are in some great projects. And they even debate on certain things, certain genes or certain genetics, saying that they don't care or like, certain projects. Certain, they always crack on Sunset, things like that. But, it's just, um, it is what it is, and it's all good fun and it's very, very entertaining. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't be entertained of their show. So
Are
shout
you
out to
not
them,
entertained?
new breeder on the blue. Are you not entertained? So shout out to
Nah,
them.
but
Shout out to everybody who's a new breeder on the block. Like
yeah.
I said, it kept me entertained. So I'm not gonna sit here and lie and act like I don't like the
I was about
show
to say
because
that.
I do.
See, like that's why we fuck with you. You gonna keep it real no matter what. Nah,
Yep.
since we on my brother's show, I will hold my comments and opinions to myself in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah.
Thank you. Thank you for not causing drama in here. But just know you're not the only person who feel the way.
But sometimes
uh,
all I'm gonna say is sometimes you could just look in
Thank you,
somebody's
Mr.
eyes and
Moore.
tell what they about. That's all I'm gonna say. You look at people in the eyes, you can tell what they all about.
Hey, energy, don't lie. That's
Women
all we're
lie,
gonna say.
men
And we're
lie,
moving on.
energy don't lie. Yeah, exactly. And number
Don't
10.
lie. Number 10. Let's move on.
Wait, we said this. Oh, reptile podcast.
Yeah, Reptile Podcast, sir. What, you about to come over here and talk about Joe Rogan or some stuff?
Who the hell is Joe Rogan?
Okay, good. Okay, never mind.
Am
It
I
don't even matter.
behind? No,
It
oh,
don't
I
even
love
matter.
these two people right here.
Yes, I love these two people too. This is Auntie and Uncle, Angie and
Nah,
Jeff.
I ain't
Now
been in
they
their chat
haven't
in a
had a
minute.
show in a minute because they've been vending for a long time. They've been doing a lot of
Making
the
that
NARBC
money.
show, getting their money. They getting their money, and they work full time. So they haven't had an episode in a couple of months, but for most of 2024, they have kept me entertained with their show, Podcasting Under the Influence. It's been very great, very amazing. I love seeing their channel grow. I love seeing their collection grow. They have acquired a lot of snakes, from boas to bloods, and I can't wait till they start producing most of them so I can go shopping. But
And ain't they
they're
near you?
they're like 6 hours away from me.
Oh, okay, they near
They're
Maki.
close
My
to they're
bad.
closer to Maki and Bear,
Okay.
yeah. But they are so great, so amazing. I love them. I don't care what nobody say. If you have a problem with Celtic balls, which one network that we will not name that we hate, then that's a personal problem between you and them. That's not a problem between us. Uh, and there's probably something wrong with you because all they do is be positive. They're positive people. They spread love and positivity. They're always spreading family and having a good time. So, like I said, if you hating on that, that sounds like you need to go
And
see
they
a
funny as hell.
therapist. Yes, and they're so funny, very
They had
funny.
me dead, bro.
Had you dying laughing. So
When he
yeah.
came in with that wig on,
Oh, we gotta love Juicy G. Bring back Juicy G. We ain't seen Juicy G in a minute.
get a shirt made. Missing
Where's
Juicy
Juicy
G.
G? But yes, shout out to Celtic Balls, Angie and Jeff. I love y'all. I love y'all show, and I can't wait till y'all come back. I know y'all making money, but I'm gonna need y'all to take a break and come back to the podcast in 2025. All right, number nine. Number nine. We have Big Mike, or like some people say, don't call him medium. Mike from Herb Collectors, his main show, the first show that started it all before he had a network. We have Clutch Conversations. Now, Mike has been so good with his podcast. He's always been good, but you can see if you've been following him since the beginning, you can see the growth in
Mm-hmm.
his picture quality, the growth in his audio,
Studio.
the studio, the growth in his the growth in him going live at expos and shows. He's done All American show, he's done Bavu show, he's done he got invited to podcast to do Animal Con. He got to interview Lori, and I can't wait till he released that interview. He need release the interview, Mike. I know Redline
Send
is
an interview.
I know he can't release it until Redline tells him because they were the ones who sent him out there. But release the interview, Mike. We need the Lori Barcheck interview. But his main show, Clutch Conversations, is great, and he has amazing guests. Always asks the amazing dope questions. Some of his guests are so funny and entertaining to the where everybody is just dying laughing, even in the live chats. And that's my brother. I'm not gonna sugarcoat y'all. I'm a support Mike every step of the way and his network. So argue with your mama. But I love Mike. I love Clutch Conversations. And I think y'all should listen if you're not listening to his show and watching on YouTube. What up, Bear? Thanks for tapping in.
There was good, gang.
All right, let's see. Number eight. Number eight. We have Proper Royals, Proper Cup of Joe. Now, Adam from Proper Royals, he does have a Tuesday night show where he interview breeders and stuff, and that's a good show. But nothing has been more entertaining for me than his Thursday morning show with his friend Joe. And I love the concept of this show. You got a reptile breeder having a live podcast with someone who's not even in the reptile industry, never had a pet reptile, don't know nothing about reptiles. So Joe always come in with the great questions, or great topics with Adam, asking him, what it's like to breed ball pythons. Why do people like certain genetics over another? Why do certain snakes cost more than certain ones? And just to get a new keeper, not even a new keeper, because Joe don't keep no animals, but a new person being exposed to the reptile hobby for the first time on a show live and hearing about, oh my gosh, there's somebody who sold a $10,000 snake. Somebody actually bought a $10,000 snake. Like, what is this? Like, it's great to get Joe's reaction to things and hearing Adam explain certain things to him, like different genetics. It's such a great entertaining show. And I listen to it religiously on my way to work. And while I'm at work before school starts, I'm in my classroom setting my stuff up, getting ready, and I'm listening to Joe and Adam go back and forth on so many different topics. And it's so entertaining. So if you're not doing nothing on Thursday mornings, you're riding to work or whatever, getting ready to start your day, check out Proper Cup of Joe. It is such a good conversation. There's no drama. There's no BS. It's just two friends talking. One friend who happens to be a snake breeder and one friend who don't know anything about snakes.
Yeah, I
Very,
ain't
very,
never seen that before.
yeah, very, very entertaining. It's on Proper Royals YouTube channel. And like I said, Adam has another show where it's more he interviewing other reptile breeders and stuff. But it happens on Tuesdays when we're having our show. So I always watch the replay of that, but I'm always live on on his Thursday morning shows. Those shows keep me entertained for sure. Let's see. Number seven. We have our brother Chris flexing and finessing reptiles. Also, my channel sponsor with his podcast, Untamed and Unhinged Podcast. Now, Chris did have a podcast for a while called Sexing and Flexing um, with his friend Levi, and they hosted it for a long time, but then it dissolved. And for a long time, Chris took a hiatus from podcasts and didn't podcast for a minute. But then 2024, I don't know what motivated him, but he came back a swinging. And when he came back with Untamed and Unhinged, the sponsors came back. He started collecting more and more amazing guests. He started interviewing guests from totally different species of reptiles, different type of reptiles, spider people, just everything. And when I tell y'all, I'm so proud of him and so happy for him. And he seems more comfortable Then on his last podcast, he became more out of his shell, started asking more questions, and even showing even more of his personality. And you can see like his humor and stuff a lot on this show. And it's just great to see. He is taking his work schedule is making him, take a little break over the holidays, but he's coming back swinging. I ain't gonna let him quit like last time. Like, nah. When he stopped doing Sexing and Flexing podcast, I was like, Chris, you gotta come back. He but we just gotta get his work schedule together. His work schedule's keeping him away from the mic, but he's coming back for sure 2025, and we gonna see more podcasts. And again, he wants to interview more and more people of all animal species, not just reptiles. And so please support. It's called Untamed and Unhinged podcast on Untamed and Unhinged YouTube channel. And he's good people, very positive,
Yeah,
always spread
Chris dope.
positivity and love. Chris is very, very good people. He has made appearances in all of our shows at least one
And
point.
maybe one day I'll get me a sponsor one day. I don't think I'm cool enough yet. Nobody likes me enough. Or maybe I'll just say fuck too many people and people don't want to take that risk with me. Maybe I'm too
That
risque.
might be it. I'm not gonna lie, Rock. That might be it.
Well,
They might be scared that they sponsor you, and then you say F this person, and then they got to get the backlash because it's hard. It's hard.
it's all right. I'm gonna reach out to Howard Stern or somebody.
Hey, if you get Howard Stern the support on
No,
Reptile
don't y'all,
Podcast,
don't y'all, don't be my
you
friend
be
now.
winning.
Look, nah.
Nah, you be winning. Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it. All right, so let's go down to number
Uh-oh, number
six,
six.
six, six, six. I
You
almost
about to
went
say
backwards.
8.
I was. All right, we got the show and sale with Jaffe and KG. Now, I'm kind of cheating because this is not a podcast you can go back to and listen to later. But I don't care because I love it. And there have been so many great gems dropped, so many amazing advice I've gotten on this show. And I've seen so many, those who watch it seen so many amazing possibility snakes combos on their show. Their show isn't on YouTube, it's on Instagram. It goes live every Wednesday before Keys and Wiz's show. But like I said, if you ain't watching it live, it disappears forever in the ether. But that's what makes that show great. That's one of the reasons, and that's one of the reasons that makes it so charming. Because it's like if you were there, you just had. It's one of those you just had to be there moments. Um, like I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. They interviewed Justin, aka the Cult King Canova, and even Justin during the live admitted that something that I've been preaching about a lot because people think I hate Justin. I don't hate Justin. I admire him. I think he's a great businessman. I just hate that people don't know how or don't want to breed anything unless he shows them or tells them what to do. And he admitted that on that live, but you will never see that because it disappeared after the live. But if you were there live, you saw where he actually admitted. He said, well, there's a lot of people out there who just want to be told what to breed. And I was like, you done called your own code out. What the world? But guess what? You'll never know because if you didn't watch it live, you didn't hear it. But it was a great moment. And every time they have Levan's on, because Levan's is the GOAT, he is the King G, the OG in this reptile game. He's always dropping gems, always dropping jewels. And if you're not paying attention, not listening, you're gonna miss out. You gonna fail the class called life or called breeding. So shout out to Jaffe, shout out to KG. Their dynamic together is amazing. Jaffe and KG are both charismatic, great at interviewing people, and the show is what it is. Show and sell. The breeders come on and show the snakes that they selling, and sometimes they show the snakes that they're holding back. But it's a great show, and if you're not watching live, too bad. It is gone after the episode is done. But yeah, let's go now to number 5. We're
Listening to the
almost done,
top
y'all.
5.
We at the top 5. The top 5. And if you're not paying attention, I feel bad for
Catch
you.
a replay.
Catch the replay. We got our brothers and sister, my niece, on Off the Plank podcast. They are most podcasters, if someone come out with a show on the same day and same time as you, would be upset and pissed off. I was never was. The moment DJ and Brandon announced that they were having a Tuesday night show, I was so happy and excited. And but I told them, I said, I love y'all, but I'm always be replay gang. I ain't never watch it live because I got my show. And so, but we've always been so cool with each other. We've always been a family. We've done a crossover episode. We've always helped each other out. We're all in the same Patreons. We're all in the Wiz Tang chat together. We're all in the Bomb Squad together. And it's just a great, there are great dynamic. And then adding Banner and Brian to the mix. Oh my gosh. Once they added them to they Brandon and DJ was already entertaining on their own. They were already entertaining by themselves. But when they added Brandon and Banner, it
You
was it
mean
was it
Brian
was a
and
perfect
Banner? You said
combination.
Brandon
Just
and
like I
Banner?
feel like, yeah, Brian. Yeah, I did. Brian, thank
Ball
you. Look, it's
Ross.
too many B's. I'm sorry. Yeah, Ball Ross. Brian and Banner. Too many B's. When they added they Caucasian persuasion cousins to the mix, that's
First of all,
when.
Brian is not Caucasian. He got
Okay, he light skinned.
vitiligo.
He light skinned. He vitiligo, yes. But their podcast soar once they became went from a duo to a quadro. They became a force to be reckoned with, and they've had some amazing guests on. Shoot, when Morph Market decided to do their shipping and it caused a ruckus, even though they had them on for like 5 or 10 minutes, Mr. Morph Market himself hopped on their show and talked about it first before he did any other podcast. And I think that hurt some people's feelings, but he he hopped on and to explain how, Morph Market shipping was gonna go and stuff. And so for that to happen on their show first, like they got the news first, and if you watched it, you heard it first. Unlike other stuff, then hey, you just missed it. You just missed it. But it was great. And they just recently did a Christmas Eve giveaway podcast, which was amazing. So much fun.
Yeah,
And
shout out to them.
yeah, shout out to them. They did amazing. I love
And shout out to
y'all.
shout out to my homeboy Brian. Shout out to DJ,
Mhm.
Brandon, Banner, and shout out to Niglet. Niglet, you part of the game too, cuz.
Yes, yes. The baby chicken Niglet. Shout out to Niglet. We love him. If you know, you know. He part of the gang. I should have put a picture of a baby chick on this slide. I ain't think about it.
I know, or she should have had a picture of when Niglet was up there.
Yeah. So shout out to the
Niglet, we
Off
love
the Plate
you.
podcast. We love you, Niglet. No problem, Brian. Y'all are great. Y'all are amazing. I can't wait to see what y'all do in 2025. I can't wait.
Yeah,
All
man.
right. Yeah.
Because Brian got some heat, man. I'm trying to get
Mine.
some heat. I'm
Ball
trying to get
Ross
that.
got some heat.
And
For real.
every time he get ready to start showing us stuff, here go damn prophet. Just won't shut the hell up and let us see the beautiful animal. Just gotta keep growing. Just keep talking and keep talking. Oh, I'm sorry. This your show. I'm sorry, brother. My bad.
Hey, I understand you being triggered. If you know, you know. All right, number four. Number four. We have two P's in the podcast, hosted
The
by Lady Tiz
OG.
Exotic and doggone it, I just had her name.
Megan Morgan.
Thank you, Megan. Morgan. See, you messed me up. I had it. I was about to say Morgan and then I said Megan. She's gonna kill both of us. She really is. I'm sorry, Morgan.
Hey, Morgan, don't kill brother first because at least I said it M. He was talking about
No, because I was about to say her Instagram name, which is Miss Exotics. That's why I got
oh
messed up. And then you yell Megan, and that messed me up even more. I was
no,
trying to say her Instagram handle,
I'm just gonna
but
be quiet and sit here.
Morgan, Nicole and Morgan, two P's of the podcast happen every Monday morning, and just like Adam's Thursday morning show, I listen to this every morning as I'm getting dressed for work, on my ride to work, and right before the kids walk in my classroom. I'm listening to them in my ears. Um, and their show is so good, so entertaining. Yes, it's reptile centric. You got Nicole, who is a breeder, but she's also a keeper of multiple species, not just ball python. She got the mainland retic, she got the burns, she got so many. She got DMX, the green tree python. She got so many wonderful animals. And Morgan, same with her. So many different species of snakes, and so you get two women's perspective on how they keep, how they keep, because Morgan's not a breeder, she just a keeper, but she's an educator. She does just like me, go to schools and educate children and stuff with the snakes. um and you get their perspective on a lot of things. But I love their show and their dynamic, one because of their chemistry together as hosts and having flowless, effortless conversations, but also their conversations can veer off so left. We could be talking about snake anatomy and how snakes are, how they digest their food and eat, then all of a sudden it veer off to like religion topics or
Okay.
politics or just some off the wall, but it still be entertaining and engaging. Like nobody's having debates or having fights. We just in the chats chatting with them, and we just go off left field from the main topic. But then they always bring it back eventually to the main topic. But it's always a great way to start your day. Great laughs, great information, and just two great people, two great amazing people that I would recommend to anybody. I recommend Morgan's content to anybody. I recommend talking to Morgan for information if you have any questions on different species like the retics and the boas and things like that. And same with Lady Tiz. When it comes to breeders, I'm always shouting out Lady Tiz. I got my burn from her. um
For sure.
yeah, and so many people have gotten retic babies from her. It's just, and hopefully one day she gets me in that odium, because I like what she's working with odium. It's a morph in ball pythons that hasn't been worked on much besides nerd, and so I can't wait to see what she does with that gene, and maybe in the future I get one of them babies, one of them clutches. But two great women in the hobby. Y'all should follow them on TikTok. They are both heavy on TikTok. So if you don't catch their podcast on Monday mornings, follow their TikToks. They always go live. They always make different TikTok videos and stuff. And so I'll support them. They are two of the best in what they do when it comes to these reptiles. So shout out to them. Number 4, two peas in the podcast. Number 3, we got Hair Down Fridays. Now, I believe Hair Down Fridays became number 1 last year. Yes, they were. They were number 1 on my list.
Even
So
though we
shout
was
out
supposed
to Keys for the
BTS was supposed to be number one.
Shut up.
We didn't
Shout
even
out
make the
to Keys.
list. Just like
Shut
this
up.
year.
Shut up. Shout out to Keys for an amazing way to start your weekend off. Whiskey Bomb, that weekend warriors. The best way to start your weekend is Friday nights. I won't be anywhere else but on Hair Down Fridays, in the chats, talking it up with everybody in the hobby. Everybody's having a great time, you know, and it's just a cool, chill vibe. I know some people be throwing shots at the panel podcasters, or the group chat, or what that podcaster who shall not be named, that hater of everything, he called them the Zoom calls podcasters. He's
Wait, do
just
I
a
know this
hater.
hater?
Anyways, huh?
Do I know this hater?
You heard me talk about him a lot. I ran about him a lot in private. Um, but yeah, but we don't talk about him. We don't give him any clout. But Keys, when it comes to the panel podcasting, Keys is the king of it. And it's so good. It's so entertaining. I'm never bored. How many wonderful moments we've had on Here Down Fridays? We had Matt falling out the chair. we've
Yo,
had
that shit.
we had them
Hey,
in
where Matt
Daytona.
go?
Yeah, where Matt go? That was number 1.
To the
We had
basement.
them.
I'm done. Go ahead,
Oh, that was great. That was great. We
bro.
had them live in Daytona, and you hear Nicole in the background yelling that the house is on fire. because the grill caught fire. It was just so much stuff, so many amazing dope egg cuttings. I think that everybody who cut a clutch on Hair Down hit great odds. Like they have a winning streak. If you want a winning streak, you cut on Hair Down if you can. Um Cause it seemed like everybody who did their egg cutting, they didn't get no duds. Like everything was fire, was amazing. And then of course they had people like Levance, people like Cal Hoffman. They had so many people hop on the show and then just drop gems. And then you like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it this way. I never thought of breeding my rodents this way. I never thought of breeding my snakes. I never thought of this or that. And it's just Hair Down Fridays is always a good time. It's like hanging out with your friends at a bar. But every once in a while you get some gems dropped and you like, yeah, I'm glad I watched this show because I would have never known if I didn't watch it. So shout out to the whole Usual Suspects gang, the whole crew, Keys Constrictors, everybody, that whole family. Whiskey Bomb Network, Hair Down Fridays is the place to be. So if they were number one last year, who on earth could have beat them this year? Like how can the king get down a peg on his throne? I'm sorry, Keys. I love you. You my big brother for life.
It ain't gonna be because be on scales number one. We just don't. Oh, we made number two finally. Made it to us. Been a long time coming.
What up, Jordan? Thank you. Look, Mister.
Jordan, what's
So
good, gang?
last year I didn't put us on one, one because we were fairly new. We were babies. But two, you know, I kind of felt bad. I kind of felt guilty for putting us anywhere on the list because I don't want them to say, "Oh, of course you put yourself number one. You're on your show." Yada yada. I didn't want to hear that BS. I was
I
worried
ain't said
about
we
what
had to be
other.
number one. We could be in 15, damn it.
I'm gonna be honest. I was too worried about what other people thought. But one thing I learned in 2024: fuck what people think.
Thank you. At least you learned something from
Don't.
me.
One thing I learned in 2024: not to lower myself or dumb myself down for others. I'm a brag. We did great this year. We did amazing. We wasn't playing with y'all in 2024. We had so many memorable moments. Of course, shout out to Candy. She bullied all of us, but it all became comedy gold. Shout out to Maki. Maki, unfortunately, Maki couldn't flip on some couches, but she had some couch flipping moments on this show. Father Dunn tried his best to rein us in, and he was successful some episodes. Some episodes he was successful in reining us in, but it was just too much. We were just too many. Having six personalities on one show, it's just too much for the straight man of the group to keep us
And then
into.
you got two bullies with Bear and Candy. Then you got a little innocent angel like me.
Yeah, right. And then we got High Times with Bear. It's great to have a show with it's great to have a show with a pothead who forgets half the stuff he say sometimes. Or we'll be in the middle of a conversation and there's just something off the wall pops in his head. Or the episode where we did a whole show and he forgot the dogs were outside.
Yeah,
That
that
man almost lost his dogs a good 100 times. And it's just we just have, and of course the man who brought us all together, the host, the creator, Mr. Rockabilly, the serpent nerd, Mr. who left us hanging. I'm kidding. But we love you, Rock. And Rock, me personally, I appreciate you because Beyond the Scales has been beyond a blessing for me. I look forward to Tuesday nights. I could have a crappy day. The job gets on my nerves. My students done fried my brain. Parents done made me question my career. And then I come on a podcast and everything just goes away. I get on here, Candy call us all ugly, and for some reason, all that stuff, the depression, the anxiety, all that just goes away. And I'm just sitting here crying, laughing. How many episodes have y'all seen me cry? Because I'm laughing so hard at all y'all. So Thank you, Rock. I know you're not on camera, but I love you, brother. I
Love you
appreciate
too.
you. And you have made a very, very strong positive impact on my life. And we gonna continue to do what we do. We're gonna continue with the shenanigans and we gonna talk our shit. We ain't afraid of nobody. So yes, we are number two. We finally on the list. Cause I stopped caring about what other people think. Jordan. Juju's mad at you. It's all right, brother. I forget you for not being sub. All right. So, if Keys wasn't number one, and everybody know we love Hair Down Fridays,
Oh, I
if,
know what number one is.
if Beyond the Scales was now number one, Rock, who do you think number one is?
Sophisticated ignorance. Bam, 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 bam.
Hootie hoo! Shout out to the Winston clan. Yes. Sophisticated ignorance. My Wiz, I know you're gonna watch the replay because you're either watching your child or you're in your snake room high. Either way. I know you'll watch this later, but let me tell you, man. I love all my big brothers in this hobby. I love the Beyond the Scales family. I love the OTP. I love the usual suspects. But it's something about when I joined the Wiz Tank clan. It's something. Wiz, you are really, you always call Keys the glue, but you really, you up there too. Stop dimming your light, brother. Stop dimming your light. You have changed my life even before I joined the Whiskey Bomb Network. You have always been a great supporter of Snake Cinema Podcast. You've always encouraged me and bigged me up ever since the inception of Snake Cinema Podcast. There have been times where I would get 5 people watching my live, maybe 60 views on average, and I'd be like, dang, I started to feel a little low. But then I'll get a message from Wiz either in a group chat or a private message, or he'll be on his show, Sophisticated Ignorance, and he'll do his little intros and he'll say, yo, this is my favorite show. This is my favorite. I love the way the first time I heard him say he took inspiration from my show, I damn near shed a tear because I was about to quit it, honestly. Earlier this year, I was about to quit Snake Cinema Podcast and go back to just making it a regular vlog where I just vlog one movie and then call it a day for 10 minutes and then call it a day. Because I just didn't feel like it was working. But Wiz was just a great encourager, a motivator, and supporter. And so, and not to mention, even if he wasn't all that, even if our personal relationship didn't grow from a big brother, little brother situation, this show is just so damn entertaining. I mean, we had Mr. Floppy moment.
Hey,
Um,
Joey, do you know what the floppy disk is?
yes, we've had we've had so many moments. So many people that fell asleep in the middle of the show and got busted out.
Sleepy Will.
Sleepy Will, Hey Sus. It's had so many memorable moments, so many things that we just did not expect to happen.
So many vampire attacks.
Vampire attacks, people coming up with, with marks on their necks. It was this show when we
People
say,
at
oh,
the ER.
hey, too soon, Nikki, too soon. Yes, me being in the ER almost dying. Look, it wasn't my look, it slipped wasn't my fault. I kind of forgot because I was dying. I was losing my breath. I was scared. I kind of forgot about sophisticated ignorance. And then my mom, because she knows I podcast on sophisticated ignorance all the time, she was like, I guess you're going to have to do your podcast from the hospital. And I was like, you know what? I am. And I did. So
And
it's
all we heard
funny.
was beep, beep.
The fact that my family knows my podcasting schedule, they know not to bother me on Tuesdays, they know not to bother me on Saturday mornings, and they know when they see my ring light come up on Saturday nights, they like, oh, it's time for it's time for your podcast show, your reptile shows. And even at the exactly, even the EI isn't stopping me. Facts. But it's just So many wonderful things. And then of course, every time they send KG or Levance the link, we about to have a learning session. We all about to, but the one thing I do love is that unlike some gatekeepers in the hobby try to keep you away from the OGs, I love that either on hair down or sophisticated ignorance, nobody's like myself. Nobody's like Rock. Nobody's like all us little people who are coming up, who are new, who probably got two or three or four or one clutch under our belts, or just now collecting our breeders and growing them up. I love that we have a space where we can actually get on live and talk to the OGs, the people who've been doing this for years, ask them questions, ask them advice. The fact there have been nights on this show where we get off the live, we say goodnight, we get off the live, and I'm like, dang, I can't believe I had a full blown conversation with Levance about breeding. I can't believe I had a conversation with Ash about the malice. I can't believe what the world, what I can't believe KG just showed that snake on the live and I just DM'd him and I'm about to buy that junk. Like it's just this show has had so many memorable moments, not just for me, but for a lot of people. And again, after all that fails, what entertained me the most? What kept me entertained? What kept me laughing? What kept me smiling? What kept me in the chats? Even if I'm not on the panel because of my crappy Wi-Fi, what am I? And how many times have I said, "Hey y'all, I'm finna go to bed, good night," and then I'm back in the chats talking, and then Banner has to tell me, "Good night, Elias. Go to bed, Elias." Like you supposed to, or Father Dunn, you supposed to be in bed, and I'm in bed physically, but I'm still typing. That means you have a good show. We have a little bit of sophistication, but we also cue them owls and have a whole lot of ignorance. And so that's why Sophisticated Ignorance is the number one podcast for 2024 for me, personally, for me. Again, this is all subjective. You ain't got to agree, you ain't got to disagree. But do you want to add anything else on Rockabilly?
No, man. Some shows that you listed, I watched. Some you listed, I ain't never watched. Some you listed, I never watched because I'm gonna keep moving on. I digress. But
Now, you can say what you want, sir. Because again, we're not on the Whiskey Bum Network on this episode. So
it's it's like I said earlier, man. It's a lot of people out here. This in life in general. This ain't even got to do nothing with the podcast or breeding. It's a lot of people in general that the only motivation is themselves, and they could care less about you or what you got going on, and they're playing in your face. It's been a whole bunch of playing in people's faces, but I'll just keep lanes where lanes that they always gonna be lame. So it is what it is. On folks them grave.
you're right. You're right. I agree and I concur. And that's why I separated myself from certain groups
ENT, what's
quietly.
good, gang?
And it's nothing against other people in the groups. It's just that one person and their ego just it just rubs me the wrong way. It does. And I hate that I have to leave a whole group of people that I love just for one person, but I have to protect my peace. That's one thing I learned for 2025. I'm protecting my peace at all costs. So if that means unfollowing, unfriending, and muting certain things, I'm gonna do it. Because I'd rather protect my peace than deal with all that drama. But anyways, oh, what up, Orlando and TJ? Thank y'all for tapping in, and
What's
thank you,
good? What's
Patrick,
good? Yeah.
for your nice words. Since we got some late people, I'm just going to do a quick rundown without all the commentary. So, number one on my list was Sophisticated Ignorance. Number two was Beyond the Scales. Number three
Yes.
was Hair Down Fridays. Number
Woohoo!
four, Two Peas in the Podcast.
Hell
Number
yeah.
five, Off the Plank Podcast.
Hell
Number
yeah.
six, Show and Sell with Jaffe and KG. Instagram
What's
only. It
y'all?
disappears. So please watch it live or it disappears. Untamed and Unhinged. Number seven.
What's y'all?
Number eight, Proper Cup of Joe.
Shout out
Number
to them.
nine, Clutch Conversations.
Big Mike.
Big Mike. Number 10, Podcasting Under the
Up to
Influence. Yeah. Number 11, New Breeder on the Block.
Lane.
Shut up. Number 12, In Your Circle Podcast.
Oh yeah.
Number 13, Let Me Know Show.
Shout out to my peoples.
Number 14, Girls Who Love Reptiles podcast.
Can't watch
And
because it's
number
on that network.
15. And number 15, Not Another Reptile podcast. And then, of course, the honorable mentions were Show Me Your Rack, Double Clutch, The Retig Rundown, The Expert and the Idiot, Breeding for the Future, and No Remorse from More Forge. Shout out to everybody who were either honorable mentions or the top 15, but that's it, y'all. The
What?
best of
How I don't know that
2024.
for my clutch at? Well, my clutch is in an incubator. Still, they just chilling and laying on each other.
Uh, but I ain't gonna lie, that pinstripe without the pastel looking a little nice. I think I want
And
that one. I ain't
and
gonna
now that I did talk to some people, we think the clown is actually a banana clown. So that means that it's a split clutch.
lie. Bruh, you lying. You lying. You have two baby daddies?
That's just my baby daddy. That's just my baby
I'm
daddy.
calling Maury. So she gave birth to babies from both daddies. See,
She gave
snakes are
six from
awesome.
one. She gave six from one and one from the other.
That's true. That's truly how some of us our families are with
But
our brothers and
it,
sisters.
like I said, it's crazy. So like the girl, I didn't. She improved out head pod. Uh, I got a split. So I got surprises. I got, like you said, I hashed out three visual recessives. I got a split clutch, and I was looking on one of my pods, and I was showing people, and they said that looked like it might be a what's that? Uh, uh when they had those random spots, what it's called?
Paradox.
Yeah. So we think one of the pods got a paradox spot on it. So if it does, we'll see one in the shade. So if it does, so a paradox, a split clutch, three visual recessive, all in your first clutch.
All in
That
your first clutch. That is wild. That is crazy. All that from your first clutch. See, I can't even be mad. I ain't gonna lie. But I might have to snatch up one of them pinstripes. I ain't gonna lie, because I like them. They were cute. Pinstripe party.
and then that means that so the baby from the baby daddy will be what 66% head pie, 50% head
You
DG.
just gonna have to share test the whole clutch.
I
Like
know. It's just
you just gonna have to share test everybody. Just go on, save your coins, working extra shift and send it all to Charlie.
who want
Cause
to who want to donate to United Negro Shed Test Fund.
yes, we can. I'm big mad. I mean, technically we are mad, but we not mad.
What y'all mad about? What
Rocket.
happened?
No, because I said I can't be mad at you for getting
Oh,
hitting all those on your first clutch. ENT said, yes, we can.
hey man, listen. Maybe it just like I said. All I ever wanted, you know.
Don't fund me at your antics.
Everybody know the biggest thing that I always said when she became gravid. I just wanted all the babies to make it out successfully and have a good
Hmm.
life, and that's all I really cared about.
Yep, you didn't care about the odds. You said I already know all my babies gonna be pastel. I don't care. And the odds guy said, I bet we gonna bless you. We gonna bless just like
They're like,
just
you
just like
don't
the
care, but
opposite.
we do.
Unfortunately, the opposite happened to our brother Brock from Orphanary Arts. He always talked about how he did not like pastel. He ended up getting a surprise pastel in a clutch. You see how the Oz guys work? See, when you crap on a gene, they make sure you get that gene. And when you say you don't care whether you get that gene or you think you're
He's
gonna
over
get that
there.
gene,
Wait,
it's
what is he
opposite.
saying? He was over there doing witchcraft and everything. Tell him the secret there.
No, the secret is buying from Pet Paradise. To me, that pet store, they know they blessing people with snakes that people don't know. It's head
And if
pod
you
and
don't
stuff.
look, watch this. And if you don't cut on Hair Down Friday, cut 2 hours before Hair Down Friday start.
Exactly. Either way, if you do it on a Friday, you're gonna be blessed. Man. That's some craziness. That is some craziness. And I'm glad you saved that baby from the umbilical cord wrapping. That was great.
Yeah. I took him out his little tub and put him with his brothers and sisters, and
so they can share together.
yeah, they all up
Share
in there. Just
together.
they all up in
You
there in the
might.
back in the corner, just huddled up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And once you get all those sheds, go on and he said no. Once you get all those sheds, just go on, dry them out, put them in a Ziploc bag, just send the whole thing to Charlie. Just be like, look, bill me later.
Full panel.
We need to
Look,
know what's all these things.
he'll fuck around, come back. Oh well, this one is Hep Cryptid, Hep DG, Hep,
Head puzzle. Like, wait a minute. This is 60%. Like, wait a
and then I'm
minute,
gonna
what?
run. Then I'm gonna run back to the pet paradise. Be like, I fucking love you guys.
Now run back to look, run back to Pet Paradise. Give me all your super pastels. They all got something hidden in there.
But make sure they possible head clown. No.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure possible head clown. That's the only thing was listed. Possible head clown. They ain't tell you pied or anything else.
Nope.
Mm-mm. That's a blessing. Well, I'm so happy for you again. I
Appreciate it.
know ENT mad, but I'm happy for you. but congratulations and thank you for hopping on the live with me, keeping me company while I
Oh,
count down my
no problem.
favorite
No problem.
shows. And thank y'all to everybody who watched it live. I appreciate y'all. Again, shout out to the replay gang. And again, for those who've been living under a rock, if you're looking for Snake Cinema Podcast, it's not going to be here no more. I do have a playlist on this channel for it, but we are over on the Whiskey Bomb Network, aka Keys Constrictors channel. So watch it every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Central. This Saturday, I am reviewing Mufasa, the Lion King prequel, and also the Netflix movie Carry On. I'll be reviewing both of those films. Mufasa might have a rant in it. I don't know still because I'm still conflicted on how I feel about it. But yeah, come in and listen to me give my opinions on two different polar opposite movies. um, and we have some more great episodes coming up this year. I mean, well, not this year, in 2025. And of course, like always, catch us on Tuesdays, Beyond the Scales on Rock's channel, The Serpent Nerd. Beyond the Scales every Tuesday. I don't know if Rock gonna do a New Year's Eve live tomorrow, but I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
be I'm gonna be sitting at home doing my favorite New Year's Eve tradition, and
Do
that
y'all
is,
want to see the babies before we go? Do
oh
y'all want
yes,
me to
let's
do
do that.
that?
Yeah, let's do that. I'll solo you. Um,
Ugh. I'll just
one
show you they in
tradition
the
I
tub.
do, one tradition I do every New Year's Eve is I watch the entire Twilight Zone episodes marathon on whatever that channel is. Who still got cable? But anyways, that's what I do every New Year's because they play every season, every episode, and so that's what I'm be doing because I'm a big Twilight Zone fan. So I won't be on any lives, but there is going to be an auction tomorrow on the Keys channel on the
Oh,
Whiskey Bomb
fast.
Network. It will be hosted by FNA Balls. They'll be auctioning off some snakes. So if you got some New Year's Eve money, if you just got paid, go and get you a snake or two. And then of course Jared and Leland will have
Y'all ready?
our great hold on, let me make you bigger. Oh, look at the babies. Hold on, let me solo you. Oh, let me pick out mine. I want that one. Oh, you can't even see the arrow on my mouse. I want that one. I want that one. That does look, you know what? That does look banana. Yeah, that clown. I
Yeah, this
agree.
the
That does look banana. Oh my
where
gosh.
this. Let's see. Come on, baby boy.
We
This was
know that's
the
pastel pinstripe leopard.
this was the one that I saved the umbilical. Oops, that's
Oh, that
umbilical,
poor
baby.
baby. That baby was fighting for her life.
Yeah, but that's them.
That
Boop.
man got a clown, a banana clown, uh, two pies. Man, you winning. A paradox, possibly. You winning, bro. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, ENT. Thank you, everybody. John, Jordan, Patrick, everybody. I appreciate y'all. I know he ain't selling that clown. Of course not. Of course he's not. He's gonna have a
Hell
lot.
no. The
We gonna have a
clowns on the
lot of fun
pies, they ain't going nowhere. But into that rack system that's right there from
time.
you.
But anyways, we gonna let y'all enjoy y'all night. If I don't hear or talk to y'all in the chats tomorrow, happy New Year's. Have a safe New Year. Celebrate. Kiss your loved ones. Have a great time. But please be
Big
safe because
fact.
y'all also know New Year's is the day where people act a fool. At least in Memphis, you gonna be hearing sounds and you don't know if it's fireworks or gunshots. So please be safe. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having an amazing 2024. Thank y'all for always supporting me and rooting for me and having my back and loving on me, even on the times where I were unlovable, because I know I was. When I be going on my rants and wilding out, I know I can be a pain in the neck. But I appreciate y'all and I thank y'all for being the best reptile family I can ever ask for. But anyways, enough with the sentimentals. We will catch y'all later, either on Beyond the Scales podcast or on Snake Cinema podcast on the Whiskey Bomb Network or on the number one podcast on my list, Sophisticated Ignorance with Wiz on Saturdays. Anyways, that is it. I
Peace out.
love y'all. Congrats again, Rock on your clutch. And
Appreciate it.
we will see y'all in the new year, peoples.
All right, back to my
Bye.
football game. Peace.
Peace.
Cinema podcast stepping in. Your one-stop review, let it sink in. Hip-hop vibes, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around. Every episode, spitting truth. Old school jams and the latest youth. We keep it real, no sugarcoat. Pop culture on the mic we wrote. So tell your friends and hit subscribe. Snake Cinema here to vibe. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. We're the hottest review in your street. Snake Cinema Podcast, stepping in. Your one-stop review, let it sink in. Hip-hop vibe, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around.